And we're live. This is Ahead of the Spread. You got myself, Ronald, Cabang, and Skee Profit in the building here. We're here to talk about open numbers, notable line movements, and discuss key matchups and angles for the next day's NBA slate. So you have an early edge for the games tomorrow. Before we head into that, real quick recap of today. I didn't get to bet anything. I had a busy day today, and then I missed that. What we usually talk about. Skee don't get to ask end of the line. I didn't
Mhm.
want to do that, so I ended up skipping today. But a lot of things that we talked about yesterday actually hit. Everything that we said in the recap section. Ski. How did you do today?
Overall, I have 4 plays. I went 3-1. Two are in the NBA though, and the NBA went 2-0. So
Nice.
the over in the Cavs game was easy. I had Cade Cunningham over his PRA. That was pretty easy too. And yeah, one of the ones where I'm disappointed I didn't pull the trigger last night was the Magic game under.
Yeah.
But I kind of mentioned to you, I'm not gonna lie, I was just so mad at something that
Yeah.
happened, like one of the game's results. I just didn't want to make a bet that night. So
Yeah.
gotta let it go. And happy we had a winning day. We'll try to keep it going here again.
Yeah, yeah, let's do it again. I actually took a couple bets today. We'll see if we're aligned. I mean, for tomorrow already. So let's see if we're going to be aligned. I'll share my screen here. We'll go through the slate as normal. All right, so first game up, we got the Pelicans and the Sixers here. The Sixers open up at -4. We're actually seeing -3.5 at Bet Online, Heritage, and Bookmaker. Total started at 222, coming down to 221. At most books, you're starting to see some 220 and a halves show up. So a little line movement towards New Orleans and the under. If we look at where's New Orleans and there you go. Situational notes. Pelicans coming off a loss as a favorite there, so a bounce back spot. Third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6. But other than that, nothing on the Sixers side. Just dealing with some injuries though. Embiid out, Drummond out, Lowry, McCain out. Paul George is going to be available on the Pelican side. Murphy, Jones, and Bi out. Dejounte Murray is questionable, and then Zion is available. Ski, are you in agreement with the total going down and towards the Pelicans?
Yeah, this is probably, one of my least favorite games for tomorrow. And total going down. Neither team has really been playing up tempo. So I guess they have that going for the under. It's just two teams I really personally don't trust. So I don't have any reason to talk anybody off the under. And I really don't want to be involved with the side. So this is one game where I'm just gonna let it go.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are taking the under. You see New Orleans, three straight unders, Philly, two straight unders. They're probably just it's most likely like some type of recency bias, but I'm with you here. This is one I'm probably going to stay away from as well. Let's go on to the next game. Milwaukee and Orlando. Milwaukee open up at -3. This is all the way to -4, -4.5 at some books. Total going up 209.5 to 210. See a 211.5 over at Caesars. Um, that's the opposite of what we talked about yesterday with Orlando. And it probably has to do with Bankero available, right? Other than that, I don't see any other reasons why this should go up. Ski, what are your thoughts on this one? I think there's some fatigue factor on the Magic side, second to back to back, and the Bucks with the rest. So I would look towards the Bucks here.
Yeah, maybe you can help me out while I'm talking and put the full season and scroll down to the trends. But this is we just talked about this Magic team yesterday. Yes, they'll get Bankero back, but
Mhm.
it's his first game back in how many months? Like he's gonna be rusty out there and he's probably gonna have a minutes limit. I'm not trusting him to come in and just, make the offense start booming again. So
Mhm.
Magic have gone under. I think if you include the game tonight, 6-0 as a home dog. I'm pretty sure at a rest disadvantage, they've also been towards the under. Um, and
All
none of the
right.
games, I'm pretty sure their last 8 games have all, stayed below the 209, 210 number that we're looking at now, actually. So it's actually going up half a point. I disagree. If
Mhm.
that's the Paolo effect, like it's going to take some time for him to get the offensive rhythm and for him to play full minutes, in my opinion. So I like under again in the Magic game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that whole logic too, with the under and with the Buck side. Just fading a star player coming back. And we've talked about this multiple times on our own shows and other wager talk shows as well. It's that whole, key player effect, like what you mentioned. The line just adjusts a little bit too much, and I don't even think he's expected to play full minutes. So there's probably going to be some buyback in the morning. I mean, you know how like initial sharp movement moves, and then the public comes back and all that stuff. So um, I think there might be some buyback at some point, but I definitely agree with the under. I definitely agree with the Bucks side there. Um, let's see. I think there was something I wanted. Oh, not this game. I had something to show on the Thunder game, but we haven't gotten there yet. Let's go to Golden State and Indiana. Indiana opened up at -6 as home favorites here. Caesar still has minus. I feel like Caesar is just off on some of their stuff, and then -7.5 at Circa. Superbook, we do see 8.5 at South Point. So this is kind of all over the place, but all the numbers are moving in the direction of Indiana here. The Warriors, the total to open up at 224. The total down to 222 at Circa and South Point, Superbook. You could still get some 230, 223 and a half, 223s around, and then even Caesar still has the 224. So looking towards the under and Indiana, there's major fatigue factor on the Warriors side. Second leg of back-to-back games, they did play Detroit. Third game in 4 nights, fourth and 6, fifth and 7. So a whole bunch of rest disadvantage situations there on the Warriors side. Pacers, they do have some rest, and then the other piece, I think there was some injuries on the Warriors side. Yeah, so everybody is still questionable. Curry, Draymond, Payton, Gary Payton, Moody, Pods all questionable. Wiggins and Kuminga are out. On the opposite side, we have Turner and Halliburton as questionable. What are your thoughts on this one, Skee? I think you're on mute.
My bad. Yeah, the Warriors, like you said, lately have been playing a hell of a lot of games. Fifth and 7 nights. Like I would think it's about time for maybe like Steph to get some rest or somebody to get some rest in this matchup. Um, Also, just don't really love the way Golden State has been playing lately or looking lately. Pacers, though, they've won 4 in a row, all by double digits, if I'm not mistaken. They've been winning by margin. We also, I mean, I know you said Halliburton is game time decision, but we looked that up yesterday, I believe, or the other day. Um, Pacers without Halliburton, pretty sure 10-3 against the spread. So not really worried about that. Obviously, would really love to have Miles Turner in, but I think the Pacers are the right side. I mean, they open -6. They're already moving. I mean, see 7.5, even some 8.5 popping up.
It's crazy.
I think the Pacers get a double-digit win, and I don't think Steph Curry plays tomorrow.
And look at the ATS numbers on when the Warriors are less rested. 0-6 ATS on the back-to-back, 1-4. It's their offense that really struggles in this spot on the fatigue spot. Look at their team totals for the team. 5-0 to the under on the second leg of back-to-back games. 5-1 to their team total under when less rested than their opponent. I can only look towards the Pacers as well on that one. It's kind of crazy though, because they, like you said, it's moved 2.5 points at one book, and then some of the other books are still available at 7.5. I mean, -7 at DraftKings. Do you think that it still has room to move, or is this going to be where it kind of settles?
It can still move, especially if Steph Curry's ruled out. I think they'll win by double digits, so I think there's still some room there. I'm logging into my app because the odds screen says there was a 6. I was trying to see if it was for real,
6 at
but I don't even
Caesars.
see the game. Yeah, I opened up Caesars. I don't see it, so I was ready to put
You're
that
about to
trigger,
jump on
man.
that? Yeah, we're not going to miss out like we did yesterday.
No,
All
but I
right,
think they
let's
win
move
by
on to
double
the
digits,
next
though.
game. What was that?
I think they win by double digits, though.
I believe it. I believe it. All right, so Thunder and New York. Thunder and New York. All right, so we have opened up at -1.5 as road favorites here for the Thunder, up to -3, -3.5 at majority of the books already. The total 225.5 down to 225 at some books, but at a couple books they went up 226 at DraftKings and Heritage. So that's pretty interesting there. If we look at some of the situational notes, in-season revenge for the Knicks, double-digit in-season revenge. But the Thunder are off that loss to Cleveland. They do pretty well off losses. That's one thing that I wanted to showcase. I kind of think that OKC's the side ski. What are your thoughts on this one?
Mm. I mean, OKC is the better team in my opinion.
Mm,
If you look at recent numbers, they're all better except for the rebounding numbers for the Knicks. They should have an advantage there. Um, they did. The Knicks already lost to this team, right? And now they're playing at home.
mhm.
Um, I would think they play really hard in this game. I'm not sure how much the Thunder, I know you said they're good off of a loss, but I think the
Yeah.
Knicks are going to bring it too. So the Thunder have been slow starters. They failed to cover their last five first halves, but they've covered four of their last five full game. So I think the Knicks can be a team we can trust for 24 minutes to go out there and throw the first punch. And then
Mhm.
we just, get in, get out, and don't worry about what happens for the rest of the game. That's my thought process.
Got you. Here's a couple of things that kind of point towards the OKC side because I mean obviously the open number was -1.5 at 3.5. It's not just a well, all they need to do is kind of win situation, but you can see here in the historical matchups, the Thunder actually won 8 of the last 10 matchups, regardless of the site there. And if you go to season, the Thunder this season, and then we take them off a loss. They're 5-1 off a loss. Obviously, the ATS numbers; these numbers are pretty large for as far as covering. They did lose this one, the Thunder versus Spurs, but the Thunder were on the first leg of back-to-back games, and they were. This is the period where they had a bunch of injuries. No, I think it was like Isaiah Joe, no Caruso, no Hartenstein. They're missing a whole bunch of Holmgren. They're all missing a whole bunch of pieces during that period. So that was one reason why they struggled there. Obviously, they're still missing. I think they have some injuries for them. Oh, it's just Caruso tomorrow, so they're a lot more healthier. So I would think that they bounce back off of the loss and get the win here. But if you look at the Knicks side, here's one thing that I was looking at on the Knicks side, how they do against these quicker pace teams. Um, so looking at the total, they're 11, 15 and 1 ATS against teams when the total is up there. And then when they're not a double, we talked about this the other day, how the Knicks do as double digit favorites. If you look at them when they're not a double digit favorite, 5 and 13 ATS in this situation. So they tend to struggle in these closer
Wow.
type matchups against teams who play a quicker pace, which the Thunder are one of those types of teams. So just from a matchup perspective, it seems like this is not a game that the Knicks are really comfortable with as far as from a matchup perspective. Any thoughts on that logic, Ski?
It makes sense, and the numbers are there to show it. I just I just personally like OKC more in the second half of this game. So if I
Got you.
see it and Knicks are winning early, I could go to the window and get in for the second half.
Makes sense to me. All right, let's go on to the Kings and the Celtics. I don't think I have that one up. Oh
I
yeah, the
appreciate y'all
Kings
in the
and
chat, man. A lot of people out there in the chat. Travis John says he likes OKC to bounce back. He appreciates the late work, reminding everybody to hit the like button
Mhm.
and show some love. Appreciate that. Brennan, he's saying thank you for the Miami Jazz under we mentioned last night, sweat free. You're glad you could cash that. A lot of other people in the chat, the usual people, B Daddy, Casey, Mike James, just a lot of people in here. We appreciate y'all staying up late and tapping in with us.
Yeah, 100%. If you guys like what you're hearing and seeing here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It helps our show grow and keeps it going too. Because, we had to do some work to make this happen, and we're glad that you guys really appreciate us doing the work here late at night. And a lot of it is for the West Coast guys, because I know on the East Coast they're probably gonna catch this when they wake up in the morning. But yeah, we finally got a late show here for the West Coast guys. All right, let's move on to Sacramento and Boston. Boston -10.5 at open as home favorites, down to -10 at some of the sharper books here, circa Superbook. You can still get 10.5 at DraftKings and Bet Online and stuff. Total 228.5 at Open, up to 230 at all the books now. Situational stuff, well rested. The Celtics are. The Kings, they're also well rested. Coming off an overtime game though, but they that was that double OT game, I think. Um, that was like 3 or 4 days ago though, so there was a lot of time in between. Um, what are your thoughts on this one, Skee? I think you're on mute again.
I gotta stop doing that. My thoughts are uh De'Aaron Fox, once again, game time decision. We'll see if he's out there or not. If he's out, I mean Malik Monk has been good, points and assists, but he has a tough matchup in this game versus Boston. They have very good defensive guards. So as dependent as Sacramento is going to be on him, they could really struggle to score in this game. I can see why Boston is a big double digit favorite here. And then also, I don't know how much I agree with the total going up. I mean, I think that I trust I trust the Celtics defense, and although the Kings defensive numbers are good, last 5 games or six, I just still don't trust them to hold this Boston team down. So maybe it's a Sacramento team total under, or maybe you just roll with Boston in some way, shape, or form. But that's the
Mhm.
way that I'm thinking about this game.
Yeah, one thing I was looking at, they're going for so Sacramento is going from Sacramento to Boston, so going cross country. The same thing for Boston. They're going from Denver to Boston as well. So they do have some travel. I know there's a big period in between here, 3 or 4 days, but they are going cross country. And one thing that we like, I've taken from those post game interviews from coaches and stuff. They usually say that the letdown happens the second game after going traveling cross country. So with this being the first for both of them, I was initially looking at the under, but with that thought process with the coaches and what they say, it might be that second game back. So both of these teams play on the 12th in a couple of days. Maybe those games might be looking towards the under, um, more so than this game here. I'll probably stay away from this one just because um, I don't like how they're both teams are traveling right now. I think take advantage of that second game cross country. So uh, I'll figure out if that continues to stay true. But last few times that I've taken it, it has happened that way. So the second game back off cross country travel, just something to keep in mind. All right, next one here.
Pretentious prodigy, I see you over there too. Says love the late work, my guys. Hit the like button. And how they said, wait a minute, RC. The East Coast is up.
I
Kevin
just saw
Gomez
that.
says, I'm on the East Coast up too. Malcolm says, nah, East Coast here, Brooklyn.
It's
Dia in the
Brooklyn.
building. You know he's over there, New York too. Hey, East Coast is in here. Lil Bron said, we
Y'all are
up in
up
the
late.
East. They trying to get that money, man.
They let it
Appreciate
be
y'all.
known too. Yeah, they're like, nope. All right. We got 2 games left. We got Washington and Chicago. Chicago minus 11.5. Double digit favorites here for Chicago. Total open up at 240.5. I think it's the same across the board. So these numbers probably just came up. If we look at some of the situational stuff, third game in 4 nights, fourth game in 6 for the Wizards Bulls double digit in season revenge here against Washington. That's crazy. So they played like about a week ago. Washington 125, Chicago 107. Chicago was minus 6.5 on the road. Do you think Chicago gets their leg back here? Or what are your thoughts, Ski?
I mean, they absolutely can. We already talked about this Washington team. I know Philly was just so disgusting tricking that lead off, but
Yeah.
when Washington loses, they usually lose by double digits, 19 of their last 21 losses. So it's not surprising to see Chicago with the point spread number that we're looking at. And yeah, I mean, you never got to pull my arm too hard to try to fade Washington. So lean
Mhm.
Chicago side, total wise, Chicago, 2 of the last 3 games have eclipsed that 240 mark. So we know they're a team that likes to play up tempo. They were playing really good defense, but maybe that's regressing lately. And the Wizards, we know they don't play any defense at all. They're actually the second worst defensive rated team last 5 games. So maybe this is one where we can expect over 240 and a half. A lot of injuries, or the injury report is kind of lit up for this Washington team. I would hope that Poole could play. Um, yeah, Poole, if Poole plays, I think I like a over 240 and a half.
240.5. Yeah, that's a high total. One thing that I was looking at was if the Bulls were ever double digit favorites this season, they definitely were not. But as home favorites, they're just it looks like 2-2 ATS there, so not a familiar situation for them. I mean, pace of play. If we look at pace of play and just like no defense either, definitely has to be towards the over. But man, 240 is already a high total. I would lean towards the over as well on that one. BD says 2-8 last 10 to the under for Washington versus Chicago. Must be like the historic matchup between the two teams. All right, let's go to the last game on the board. Nets and the Nuggets. Another double-digit favorite here at home. Denver minus 14.5 at open. We're seeing minus 15 right now across most for most books, but we see some minus 15.5s now popping up. Total 224.5 coming down to 223.5. We see a 223 at DraftKings. Caesars actually has 222.5, so that's moving down pretty quickly. So looking towards the under here, and I know the chat really loves the Nets team total under the other day, and that ended up cashing, didn't it?
It did. I had it
Yeah.
in cash.
Yeah. So
They scored
I mean,
98.
is this a sort of like a if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of situation?
I mean, from that, I do agree. You just look at who's available from the net side; they still should absolutely struggle to score. But I mean, this Nuggets defense, the numbers say they're kind of they're okay last 5 games, but it's not a defense that I trust. Like I'm actually need to pull up these numbers for Denver's last few games. They held the Clippers down on what well, I think it was a back to back for the Clippers or
Mhm.
just a really bad spot. The Clippers actually, I feel like didn't even want to play that game because all the fires and stuff that's going on in LA. They just
Yeah,
look
that's what a lot of people
disinterested.
were saying. They were dealing with that. I mean, it's really close by, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, you see what Kawhi stepped away from the team too.
Hmm.
The Lakers, the game before that looked the same. So I don't really count that. They gave a 118 to Boston, 111 San Antonio, 113 San Antonio, 120, 121,
Hmm.
121, 149. Like this is not really a Denver defense that I trust
Hmm.
as much as I expect Brooklyn offense to struggle. So it's just one where I have a hard time getting to the window. I think if I'm playing this game, I would prefer to just go. I mean, Jokic is still game time decision too. He
Yeah,
did miss 2 in a row with an illness, and we know it's going around. Everybody's sick right now. So, one thing did cast Russell Westbrook rebounds and assists last time. Whether Jokic plays or not, that could be a good look again in this game. I don't think I'll get there on the spread or total.
got you. Here's just real quick to mention they did play earlier this season. They scored over 280 points combined. That's crazy. So I mean, I that going from 218.5 to 224.5 after scoring 280. I would have thought that it would be a lot higher with how both of these teams have been playing, but Brooklyn's offense just really struggling.
No D'Lo, no Cam Thomas, no Cam
No,
Johnson, no Bogdan. Who's putting the ball in the basket, bro? Like
that's
nobody,
crazy. Yeah,
nobody.
I can't see the Brooklyn side yet. Maybe they'll turn it around against someone like Utah. Um, or they just gotta wait until some guys get back. But yeah, I can't back Brooklyn at this point until they kind of show any type of fight right now. All right, that's every game on the board. Was there anything?
Let's
Is there
double
anything
back
that
real
really
quick, just one
caught your eye?
time. Milwaukee, Orlando, Golden State, Indiana. The numbers
Milwaukee,
are changing on
Orlando,
that Orlando game right now. It was just we just talked about it like a couple minutes ago, and
and it went back down, right?
yeah, yeah,
So all right, so what we're seeing right now, 209.5. It was up at 210, I believe, when we first talked, and
yeah, it
then
was.
down back to 208.5 at the sharper book. So that buyback did happen, and it happened pretty quickly, like in a matter of like what 20 minutes. We've only been on for about 20 minutes. So um man,
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I got the same thought process. I mean, we can pull it back up. Um, but they're 6-0 to the under as a home dog at a rest disadvantage. I think it was only one game that went over for the Magic. They haven't
yeah.
hit 209.5 in 8 straight games. I mean, is Paolo going to come in and just be Superman and act like he hasn't missed the last 2 months and they finally start scoring? I don't think so. So uh, I think we should be on this under. You have both Giannis and Lillard. Giannis is probable. I guess Giannis and Lillard are both probable, but Middleton's probable. So I don't know. I like it if all of them are in. If one of them will happen to miss, it will be a bonus. But I think
Mhm.
this is when we will wake up and it's back down to 205 again,
We're
like
gonna
we
be
saw
hella mad that
yesterday.
we didn't take it.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, that's like so 8 of the last 9 have gone under. Sorry, 8 of the last 9, 10 of the last 12, sorry, 10 of the last 11. That it's got to be the under, dude. Like I just,
I ain't thinking
um,
about it no more. I'm putting that shit in. I ain't thinking about it no more, man.
the Buck side, yeah, man. I think I gotta put it in too.
After how I felt today when I already was calling
You were
out that
so
under,
mad. You texted me as soon as you woke up.
I'm not feeling like that again, bro. I seen enough from the Magic. Can it change in the near future? Yeah, but it's gonna change tomorrow. I don't think so.
Oh man. All right, so that's every game on the board. Let's go. Let's see. Before we go, guys, do you guys have any questions or anything before we close up? We don't have another show until Sunday night because it's Friday tomorrow and Saturday. Um, we'll give a
Yeah,
moment to the
man.
chat.
I'm feeling
Yeah,
good, Frenchie. I'm feeling good, my boy.
I'll take it. Oh, I can't even say. All right. You know how
Pacers.
I? Yeah, go
Now,
ahead.
what you gonna say?
I was like, how I react with Indica.
Yeah, it wouldn't be no show right now if my boy
Yeah,
RC
there
touched
would
the
not be
thing.
no show right now. All right, so I don't see any questions or anything. But yeah, let's go ahead and drop
I
our
have a
top list.
question.
There wasn't.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, what's up?
How? I mean, the Warriors have covered one of their last 6 games, I think, without Steph.
Mhm.
How high is too high for this Pacers team? What number do you think is the cutoff? If we wake up and see what number, um, would you not consider the Pacers anymore?
Yeah, we already said ourselves that we were thinking double digits, right? Or was
That's
it
how I
that game?
feel. That
Yeah,
was
it
that
was this
game.
game. Um, all right, let's look at that real quick. So you said Warriors without.
Steph. They were covering early in the season, but they've been a different team lately, and lately they have not been covering since December 23rd, or go back to December
Mhm.
23rd. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just Steph not out there on the court. They're not doing much, and they really struggling to score for real. I mean, that makes sense hand in hand. So
Hmm.
it could be. I don't really want to say trust the Pacers defense and put Warriors team total under. I think the Pacers offense is playing good enough right now
Check
for us
this.
to
All
trust it.
right, so that's a good point what you say about the under, but look. All right, so if we look at this real quick, only two out of these 14 games, the Warriors allowed their opponents to go over their team total, whether they covered or they didn't cover. And if we go back to like those games here where they started not covering, one, two, they still limited their opponents 5-1 to their team total under. Um,
It's the
and we talked
offense,
about
right?
how was that
No, it makes sense. Just the
like
offense that's struggling.
yeah, their offense is struggling, but then their defense kind of picks up, right? And then we talked about how the Pacers they've actually been slowing down a little bit too, right? Um, man,
The total
they
has
barely
come down on this too, from
yeah
224 down to 220, as low as 222.
they barely went over the other day from the open number. They went under on the closing number, so they have been going under in the last three. um, dang,
This number is kind of low for a Pacers game, though.
that's true. Look at that real quick. So not a lot under the 225 mark, but 2-1 to the under in that situation. This one went over by a point, or actually, this one only went over by the hook. So these lower totals for the Pacers games, those have been going under. They have
Add
been going
add
under.
total less than 226.
Oh, that's 3-3. Yeah, the one what I was looking at was under 225, but there's not a lot. There's not a lot there. It's just these three games, and this one went under by the hook.
Yeah. Mm,
And the
I
Pacers went
just
under their team total in all three of them.
I'm gonna ask you this though. I mean, is it gonna be more of? I mean, how much energy do the Warriors have to play defense fifth game in 7 nights? I feel like if the game is staying under, it's more of their offense is just struggling,
Yeah.
and just the pace of the game. But I'm not trusting the Warriors defense to come in here and just look amazing. Pacers they've looked good the past 4 games
Hmm.
offensively. I, I couldn't look at it that way. The chat says 11 and a half. B Daddy says 9.5 is cutoff for the Pacers. I think uh I think anything above 10, I would start to feel uncomfortable. They won Pacers have been winning all their games by double digits, right? So
Yeah. When they win by margin. Um, I mean that makes sense. That we said double digits. I think maybe double digits too. So anything above 10, like you said, make that makes sense to me.
yeah,
That's
that's
it.
it.
That's
That's
an
it.
interesting game. Would you wait for the injuries report though?
I mean, it's only gonna go higher, bro. Um, it's only gonna go higher. I mean, if Steph is ruled in, maybe. I mean, Steph is not even questionable right now. So if Hallie and Turner are ruled in, it could go up more. If they're ruled out, it could come down. I'm just looking at how they've been playing lately.
Mm,
Um, what is that? 16-point win, 14-point win, 18-point win, 13-point win. It's just until they show me otherwise. I feel like these teams are going opposite directions right now. So I don't think I have to wait. I think a 10-point win is in the cards.
got you. All right. All right. Let's go. Let's go with our top looks. Gretzky, you can go first.
Yeah. I mean, the 2 games we talked about, I like that Orlando Milwaukee under 209.5 and Indiana minus. I mean, the consensus right now is 7.5. Yeah, I think they win by double digits. So those will be my top ones. I did share a couple props throughout the show, but I'll probably look into them a little more when I wake up. So those are my top 2 right now.
Got you. All right. So I agree with both of those. I think I would add a couple more leans here. The Bucks. I think I lean in that direction. Um, you said the under on that one, right? You said
Hmm.
did you mention that one? The under on that one. Um, I do think that the Thunder might be the right side there too as well. The later games I'm not that comfortable with for the most part, but yeah, those would be my leans for this game. But I like when we align here on these unders, so I'm probably gonna take that. Dude,
Yeah,
it just keeps
don't be like
moving.
today, man. Don't be like
Yeah,
today.
yeah. I'm gonna see if I can get. I don't think I can get a 210. Hopefully, I can get a 209 now.
Woke up and saw 199. I was sick, bro.
Someone said no thoughts on Bulls Wiz. I think we did talk about that one.
We talked about every
We talked
game.
about every
We
game.
just we
Yeah,
don't feel like we want to run to the window in that game. No,
yeah,
thoughts aren't that strong. No,
yeah. All right. With that said, guys, I didn't even run the banner. They're gonna kill me.
dang, you
Uh,
slacking, bro.
I know, dude. I just wanted to. All right, so 3-day all access pass, guys, for either myself or Skee. Just use promo code ATS at Wager Talk. You can see it right there, Skee WT.buzz/HP. That goes directly to his capper page, and then for me, it's WT.buzz/RC directly to my capper page as well. You can see our streaks, our current, like our last 20 games or whatever it might be, and whatever packages we have available at the time. Those are all on those pages. I know NBA, you're on the right track, Skee, NBA for me, I'm trending in the right direction as well. I think we're both. I know I'm in the positive for all the major sports. So MLB, sorry, not MLB, NBA and NFL, and college basketball. I don't really do too much college football, but especially with it being the bowl games and stuff like that. But you're doing a college basketball now too, right, Ski?
College basketball, college football. I'm pretty sure, college football has been pretty profitable. I did lose today on Penn State, but I am gonna have a play for tomorrow, on that big game. And college basketball won again today. I'll have college basketball tomorrow. And yeah, NBA, like I said, it started off slow. It's heading in the right direction. I know for 2025, I should be up around 14 units. We just got started, and that's a pretty good start if you ask me. So we'll try to keep that going. If you guys want to be involved, like RC said, you can get both of us at wagertalk.com and use that code ATS. So you can. It's always good to save some money, man.
For sure. Yeah, especially those $2 was it $2 or sorry $5 Tuesdays. When you guys win those from us, just take that money and recycle it and just grab some of the packages. All right, guys, that's it. That's the end of the show. Hopefully, you guys learn some new stuff here and come back. We'll be back on Sunday. All right, good luck with y'all action. Peace.